All right. Hello, YouTube. Welcome back. It's your man, Coach CB, back with another video. And we got a fire video today, y'all. Yeah, got me right after finals, so I'm happy but tired at the same time. So we are going to interview up and coming Instagram. He's got an Instagram where he's got a tennis Instagram, and he just like talks about his life and his value of like hard work. And I just really wanted to bring him on because that's like big on this channel, how we talk about sports and how they really impact your lives, and how just that they can teach you different life skills like hard work, like dedication, like teamwork, all that good stuff. And so I'm happy to introduce you to Yosef Bilal Brewer, also known as Bilal Tennis on Instagram. How you doing?
Doing pretty good, Coach CB. I appreciate you having me on here, man. I'm really looking forward to this interview.
All right, I love it. So the first question I have for you today is, what has playing sports taught you about yourself? And, like what have you learned as a person?
Wow. Well, that's a loaded question because when I first started playing sports I'm going to say 6 years old. And my father and my mother really pushed me into like youth sports. I played everything: basketball, baseball, soccer. My goodness, honestly, everything. There wasn't anything I didn't play. Football. And back then, I wasn't really all that into it. I was more into like hanging out and playing video games. So from there, I decided I'm not really into sports. I wasn't an athletic guy. I used to be a lot heavier than I am now. And from there, I got into playing video games, which nowadays is considered a sport. But I'm
Okay.
28. So when I was a lot younger, around that age 12 and up, when I was really getting into it, it was not considered a sports. Esports was barely even a term. They were trying to figure out whether it's E-sports or E with a capital S and then sports. I remember the very early days of esports. And from there is when I started my competitive gaming career and got into this game called Halo. So shout out to anybody that's big into Halo, because that was my huge sport.
Okay. Yeah, I remember Halo was big back then, man. We used to. I never had Xbox, but I remember the people, the PlayStation, Xbox debate. They used to be like, "Y'all don't got Halo, so y'all not as good." I
Yeah,
feel
right.
you.
And from there, basically with Halo is what really brought me back into sports now. So let me
Mhm.
explain a little bit. So my competitive side in Halo grew like crazy.
Hmm.
Ended up getting on a really good team. We ended up playing really well as far as like online tournaments on this thing called Game Battles. I had really good friends locally that were way better than me, but they would invite me to what we called LANs, local area networks, where we got together and played 4-on-4 Halo. So from there, the competitive side of me started building up. I went to tournaments all around the U.S. called Major League Gaming events, and all the major cities around the United States. So that was really cool. And I
Hmm.
think going through that experience young, because my parents let me do it in middle school and in high school and traveled around and stuff, really built who I am now as a competitive athlete, because it really grew and put that competitive fire in me to not give up or quit like I did when I was younger, but to keep seeing things through even through the toughest times, especially with team sports and especially with something so unique like esports or just competitive gaming in general, where it's such a different thing. You have to have a different mentality, and it's not physical, but it's very mental. So that really built up the competitive side in me to who I am now.
Okay, yeah, I love that. I've seen you. I've seen that kind of competitive side of you where you like are really dedicated with this tennis, and you got the Instagram, you go to the gym, you work out, you do all this stuff, really dedicating yourself. Plus, you're doing all that with with school, and I think you said you're in medical school. So, like, how is that kind of a balance? How can you balance that, and how does that kind of work out? With your life, are there any like challenges with that?
Oh man, it's difficult, but I've been balancing working out and sports since undergrad. I went to Radford University in Virginia, so shout out to all the Highlanders from Radford
Mhm.
University. I went to school there after I left California, and that's when it all really started as far as the balancing and figuring myself out was in California. So after that beautiful journey there, shout out to Brent Ruiz, my a big mentor and a best friend of mine, who is one of the reasons why I'm who I am today. when I came back from there, I was able to balance my life. I had a very good, we call it occupational balance in
Okay.
OT, but I was able to balance everything I needed to do. I didn't really have a very stressful time. I still don't in school now, and I'm in my second semester of OT school. And most people wouldn't even think I'm in school if they met me. I'm not big
Mm.
on worrying about it. I don't stress about it. I just go with the process, go with the flow. But when I was in Radford, I did the same thing. I was in the gym twice a day. I played basketball at nighttime with my friends. Hold on, my dogs are acting a little crazy. They're trying to get on the camera, I think. Shout out to these two dogs right here. They're crazy. That's King Tut and that's Sparrow. I
Hello,
guess they're trying to get
hello.
the shot. They're all being goofy. Hold on, let me move this toy real quick so they can
It's all good.
make any noise. All right, y'all
All
can be.
right, y'all. We took a break so y'all could subscribe. Yeah, that's how we
Yeah,
do it.
right. Shout out to all the pages and stuff. Subscribe to Coach CB, like and comment on everything. Subscribe to me at Bilal Tennis. Let me get that
Yes,
shout out on here.
there
Yeah.
you go. Yeah, we're gonna put his stuff in the description, so y'all can definitely click one click away, get right to his stuff, so y'all can get to it.
That's right. Well, anyway, so back in Radford, I got that balance down really well. I got a couple awards while I was there. Most outstanding student. I had a 4.0 the whole time.
Ooh,
During this, I did Rex. I did like what do you call them? Like co-ed sports and like rec league sports there and everything like that. I coached one of the women's team and they for basketball and they won the intramural league. So I had a really big balance of everything, honestly. And I just did the same thing when I came here. I decided to apply to the #1 OT school in the nation. I got in, got a little bit of an academic scholarship. So that's pretty helpful too, to help with the balance. And,
mm,
just still doing my thing. I still work privately as an ABA therapist. I work with kids with developmental disorders. I've been doing that for 6 years now, while also doing med school. So my doctorate is in occupational therapy. And I have a girlfriend as well. So you know how relationships are. There's always a balance with that as well. But I think I do a pretty solid job. As you can see, my two children right here on the bed, they're acting crazy. So you have to balance them and just trying to do my thing. So I really think all these skills have started to develop and I've been nurturing them over the years. And now that I'm at 28 years old and here at a good spot that I've worked hard to get to, it's really put everything into perspective for me.
yeah, that's really amazing and kind of inspirational. Because with me, I'm still kind of in that part of life where like trying to balance everything, and it gets tough. And so yeah, I'm glad to bring you on here so you can kind of share. So a follow-up question, like what kind of advice would you like give to those trying to balance like school and work and other things that they want to do? So what kind of advice would you give?
Faith and confidence. Those are two things I'm really big on. At the end of the day, if you don't have faith, you don't have much. And if you don't have confidence, well, you're not going to feel like much. So having those two things grow in me over the years is something that I really think sticks out. And it's something that I would pass down to, my kids one day and other people that I get in contact with. You have to be confident in yourself. You have to know that whatever you put your mind to, you can do. There's no quit. My mom used to tell me all the time, Joseph, stop saying quit. She would tell me all the time, stop saying quit. I don't
Mm.
want to hear you say, I can't, I can't, I can't. When I was younger, that's all I would say. No, mom, I can't do that. No, I can't do that. And she would say, Joseph, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear I can't. And I can, and to this day, with anything that I even think like, man, I don't know if I can do that. Or, oh, I got this big assignment. Plus I got to do this for work. And plus I got to do this and that. I think to myself, nope, you can't be like that, Joseph. You got to lock in and do it. And with that confidence and the faith behind that, that really helps because at the end of the day, I know things could be a lot worse.
Mm.
If you look around now, look at what's going on with the pandemic. Look at what's going on with other people in other countries. Look at what's going on in our country, especially for me as a Black male or a Black person in general. You have to be very, very careful, just in general. So having faith is very helpful because it helps you build up that strength inside and out. So I like to build up my strength inside with my faith and my confidence while I'm building up my strength outside with my physical abilities with sports in the gym.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for that. For that wisdom, of just like having that kind of mental mindset that I can do this, and it's not. If you say I can't, then that means you can't. If you're thinking like that, so I definitely love that. So you brought up this idea of race, so that brings me up into my next question. As a tennis player, especially like two Black tennis players, it's usually not that common, within the sport. And so, like, how does that kind of impacted you in life, how with the being a black tennis player or going to like predominantly white school, how has that impacted you in life, and like what have you learned from that situation?
Well, I think going to predominantly white schools throughout my life has given me a very unique view of things on all sides of the spectrum. I haven't just been around only one type of people. Yes, in schools, it's been predominantly white, but in my life, it's always been diverse. I was
Okay.
big, and I still am as far as my faith, but I was a lot more big into church when I was younger. Honestly, my mom kept me into church, youth programs, youth leadership, youth conferences, Black Caucus meetings, everything from the time I was probably 6 up until at least 19. And I would be on the deacon board. I would do pulpit assistant. I would do help with the offerings after extinguishing the candles. Men's group, youth group, all those things. And that was in a very Black and diverse community in Roanoke, Virginia. So I've
Okay.
always been around all types of people. And it's been super helpful because I don't see things one way. I don't see things so black and white like I think a lot of people do.
Hmm.
And especially comes with sports. So yeah, I got a couple of friends that always give me a hard time, like, man, you like playing, tennis and stuff like that. But I'm also a big hooper. And it's funny because ever since the pandemic, hooping's been like a no-go. Like I'm
I'm
not playing
telling
basketball.
you, can't get in the
Some
gym
people
at
still want to
all.
play it. Yeah, right. Some people still want to play it, but there's no chance I'm doing that. Especially I'm a 3-and-D kind of guy. So I'm gonna be up in your face. I'm gonna
Mm.
be one arm's length right in front of you. I'm gonna be right there with you every step of the way.
Okay.
So that's too close for contact right now during this time. So I figured playing tennis is a good idea because I got that net and we got the two baselines. And unless I'm coming in closer to the net, we ain't gonna be too close ever.
There
So
you go.
but back to what I was talking about though. When I look at sports and things like that, I try not to even worry about that kind of stuff. I'm Joseph Brewer and I am a black man, and I'm going to go into any sport always being that. And no matter who's on the other side, I'm going to play the game to win the game. And with it being a more predominantly white sport, that's all right. It looks like to me they'll just be talking to a black brother that's coming in here and going to show them how to play it. So I think it's great to see because it's bringing more diversity to their sport that they're currently bigger in. But I mean, everything's got to start somewhere. There's other people that my cousin actually is Wayne Simmons, who's one of the biggest Black NHL hockey players. He used to play
Mm.
for the Philadelphia Flyers and then the Sabres. And how many black people do you know that play hockey?
Hmm.
Hardly any. I can't even think of any other than my own cousin, who's a big NHL star. So it's just crazy how things have to start somewhere. And I think that bringing in people from all different types of backgrounds is going to be beneficial, no matter if it's sports or school or church. It's just having people being open enough to be accepting of that. And thank God and thank my family and how I was raised, I've always been able to respect all different types of people with no judgment like that. So over these years and having that experience with school and work and sports and everything, it's not something that I see in a negative way. If anything, it's just a positive. I love being able to share my personality and who I am with everybody, no matter the color, race, creed, or anything like that. So I think it's been really helpful for me, and I really recommend other people that are maybe trapped inside their own box, because it's all about background and what you grew up with. If you feel
Hmm.
like you're trapped inside your own box and you look around and everybody you see looks like you and acts like you, well, maybe you should take a little bit, cut yourself out that box, and come into the world that we're in now, because everything's diverse where I'm at, and that's the way it needs to be. People don't need to be so closed off on both sides. We can all come together and we can all make this world better if we're together.
Yeah, definitely, man. I love that. I love that. I got lucky. I was lucky enough to kind of grow up in a diverse school too. When I got qualified for the gifted program, and
Mm.
it definitely, like, when you compare it, the experiences are so much different. And like you said, if you're in a box, then you see people as much more different than they are. But in reality, we all just people.
Oh,
But yeah,
absolutely.
definitely
And
with
that and
that.
that also doesn't mean, oh, sorry to cut you off, Coach CB, but I was going to say, and that doesn't mean I have not gone through things. I've gone through
Mhm.
some of the worst things that black men go through, if you can imagine, being raised in a predominantly white school. I've heard, seen, and had things done to me when I was younger and as I was growing up. But that doesn't make me hate anybody. Everybody has different experiences. There's things that happen, but not everybody should be grouped into one, thought process or one thing just based off the color of your skin. So I would hope that other people don't do the same for me or other people that look like me, because I have not done the same for them or others, that people that have done things to me. So we all need to grow. We all need to mature, and we can get there together.
Words of wisdom, guys. Lock it in your heart. Stow away the key.
That's right.
All right. So the next question I got for you is, well, actually, we're gonna switch gears to the Life is Dope section.
Okay, let's do
One
it.
of the dopest sections on the channel where we just appreciate, the little things in life because we don't take enough time to do that most days. And
Absolutely.
so the first question I got for you is, what is one of your favorite memories and why?
Oh man, that is a good question. What is one of my favorite memories? I would have to say my time in California with my best friend and mentor, Brent Ruiz. I went there weighing a lot more than I weigh right now. I don't know.
Mm.
It was in the upper 200s, but I lost at least 45 plus pounds and changed my entire life and my perspective. I wasn't sure if I wanted to go to college. I was always a great high school student, but I was into the gaming. I went to California to continue to pursue my gaming aspirations as a commentator for ESFI World. You guys can look it up on YouTube, ESFI World, and then type in Yosef, Yosef, and you can check out all my videos on there that I used to do. And that was something I was in love with. And I really fell more in love with being a better person when I was there. And that's all thanks to my close friend, Brent Ruiz. Like, there's just no way I would be who I am today without that experience. So my favorite memory is flying to California, Brent picking me up in his Jeep, him having his long hair, being this little short dude that I've known for a few years now, and everything that came with that. Like, that's something that if anytime anybody asks me that, that's always going to be my answer, because that's something I hold to my heart.
Yeah, I love that. The people in our lives, they have such big impacts on us. And so you already have started to kind of talk about that impact of other people, but how has that kind of shaped who you are and how you've been able to be successful in like your different aspects of life? How is that support from your family and other mentors in your life? How has that been useful?
Man, it's all basically come together. Basically, I've got all these different ingredients like a chef, and then once you
Mm.
put everything together and you get the right taste of it and you get the right temperature, the right time, you're cooking it right way, you're like, oh shoot, I just made something really good. So I feel like over time now I've gotten the right ingredients, the right things from my mom, the right things from my dad, people in California, Brent, his family, my OT mentor, David, my friends back home. Man, there's just so many of them. I can't shout them all out, but all my friends at home, my own family, my sister, just everything that has happened in my life has all started to come together. And now I can see all the little things everybody's taught me and how they all blend and mesh into who I am. So there's a lot of things that happen now I see, and I'm like, oh, I got that from this person, or oh, I got that from that person. So I think really being able to take a seat back and just look and think about the experience you had, it's helpful to just bring it all together and see where you came from. And I think seeing that motivates me to want it even more, because I know how far I've came now. So seeing where I was 10 years ago when I was 18, and then 5 years ago before that when I was younger, I'm just like, man, there's so many changes in such a little bit amount of time. Where am I going to be when I'm 38? Where am I going to be when I'm 45? When I'm 50 something? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So the biggest thing for me is putting into perspective and letting those motivations carry me throughout the lifespan. So not only just for me, but also, for other people I'm around, for my girlfriend, for my dogs, for kids that are coming down the line. I just want to be able to carry those different experiences and pass them on. And that's really the biggest thing for me when it comes to how those things affect me and where I'm at now.
Yeah, I love that. One of the points that you brought up was this idea of reflection, right? As you look at your whole life, you look at everything that has been impactful in your life, you put it all together and you just take back and look at it and reflect about how it's changed you. If you think about, for my listeners who have been with me for a while, that's what we talk about here on this channel, is that with sports or even just on my other channel with the Dream Chasers podcast, if you take the time to think back and reflect on what you've done, you can recognize your growth, and then you can find areas to improve as well, where you can still keep growing. And I think that's one of the most powerful lessons to get out of like these interviews. Basically, what I'm trying to say, it's one of the most powerful lessons is to always take that time to reflect on your life. What can you
Absolutely.
improve on, and what are your strengths? I'm sorry.
Absolutely. I was just going to say that's something that we talk about a lot in school. And that's something that's been a lot more in the forefront of my thinking in the last couple of years because we reflect on everything there. We have reflection times when we were actually in school where we'd get together as a group and talk about things like I said, these are school related, but those same skills and the same processing comes in when you're in real life. So even now, I reflect late at night. So that's kind of like my me time where I can sit on my computer, whether I'm doing tennis stuff or doing anything. It's completely quiet in here. Everyone's either sleeping or relaxing. And that usually gives me about an hour or two to really reflect on my day, on where I am right now, on what I want to do better tomorrow, or how I want to be better in the future. And I think that's something I've always done, even when I was younger. I just didn't realize it then that I was reflecting. I just thought I was staying up at night just to be watching TV and stuff like that. But honestly, half the time, whatever I'm doing or whatever's in front of me isn't even what's on the forefront of my mind. It's my thoughts and what's going on around me. And then I'll be like, oh, I was just watching that video. Like I'll snap out of it sometimes. Like, man, I gotta redo this YouTube video. I didn't even pay attention to what was going on. I'm so like mindful of what's going on in my life. So I really think finding your own way to reflect, whether that be, like I said, at night where you're doing something else, or if you find a quiet space and you're putting on, your headphones and you're just really zoning out and just like listening to some good mindfulness music. It doesn't matter how you do it. It's just the fact that you do it and find what's best for you. So I really challenge all the listeners out there, my tennis family that's listening right now, and Coach CB, all your subscribers, to really find what your outlet is and what you can do to reflect and motivate yourself and how that's going to carry you into the future. Because I promise you, once you can figure that out, you're going to feel better day to day, and you're going to be more of a holistic person because of it.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for that. Now, I think I was doing a life is dope section and I got away from it, but that's
Yeah.
okay because it all works together.
Yeah.
So so the next question I have for you is, what is your favorite inspirational quote and why?
Ooh, man, a favorite quote and why? My goodness.
Too many options.
No, seriously. I'm gonna have to say, hmm, I'm big on whenever I think about quotes. For whatever reason, the first thing I think about, more so than it being a celebrity or anybody that I deem like a big person in the limelight or something
Hmm.
like that, I honestly think back to my own mother.
Hmm.
And the biggest inspirational quote is almost like what I was talking about earlier. Don't say I can't. I have
Hmm.
something on my board right back here. It's right above over here, and it says "Don't quit." And on there it says, I don't want to say I can't. My mom gave that to me years ago when I was younger, but I've kept it this
Hmm.
whole time because don't quit and don't say I can't are what ring in my head. So I would say those two things are the most inspirational thing for me because when I hear those, it inspires me to make sure I don't quit and that I don't say I can't. So those are the biggest ones for me because those are what I carry in my heart. Now I know that's probably not the most like glamorous answer because I'm sure there's a lot of great quotes out there from a lot of great people and philosophers and everything like that, and there's a lot of great deep ones. But the biggest inspiration and inspirational quote that I can think of in my head is from my mother. So definitely that.
Yeah, no. What do you mean? A mother's quote?
Yeah.
Your family members' quotes are the biggest inspirational quotes in your life, no matter what. I'm telling you. Uh, I think that's really important, And I would just add on to that is that instead of saying that you can't do it, think about what happened. Why did you fail, or why did you not get the success that you want, and then make a change.
Right.
And I think that's really important, especially as like athletes. I'll tell a story real quick.
Go ahead.
You know, I've been playing tennis for a while, but I didn't take it as seriously in high school because it was just like a fun hobby. And it was a season, but I was better. I was just athletic, so I was good. And then I got to college, and the guys were all better than me because I had like no idea what I was doing, like technique wise. And so what I had to do was completely change my entire game to learn how to technique and shout out to like Essential Tennis, and that was kind of one of the reasons I made this channel, but I kind of changed the vision along the way. And man, I done forgot what the whole point of the story was, but basically, basically I had to really work to change. Oh, that we were talking about saying that you can't. And yeah, and so if I was kind of thinking about quitting for a bit, I was like, man, I'm just not going to get good enough at this and this time. And then I had to just really take the time to think and say, no, I can do it. I just have to change what I'm doing. I just have to get better. I can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and then expecting things to change, you know? So yeah, great story by Coach CB, right? Inspiration.
Yeah, I like that. That's all right. I like that.
All right, and so I think we've reached the last question I have for you. And
Okay.
so this is one of the most important questions there is, because
There we go.
what are 3 things you're thankful for? Simple, but important.
Okay. 3 things I'm thankful for. The first one, I would say my faith in God. I'm very thankful for that because without those 2 things, I would not be where I am, no matter who was around me. So faith in God, definitely number one. Number two, my mom. 100%. My mom is right there up under that. There's no doubt about that. I would not be where I am. I would not be who I am. I wouldn't have the motivation in me. That's an easy number two. Number three, I would say, and this is to bring it all in, because there's a lot of different experiences that I've had that I can think of, but they're all very important. So I'm going to say my life experiences. That is what
Okay.
the third thing I'm thankful for, because everything that I've gone through up until this point has helped and shaped me to who I am now. So between my faith in God, my mother, and my experiences, that brings you Joseph Bilal Brewer. So those 3 things are what I am absolutely thankful for.
Yeah, I love that, man. I love that. He done wrapped it all up, man. He done took over the show.
Hey, sorry about that.
He's like, this is it. No, no, no. That's great, man. I picked a good person to bring on here, man. I get to
Yeah,
just
there
sit
you
here
go.
and listen. No, but yeah, we've today we've talked to Joseph Bilal Brewer.
Yes.
He's talking about his life story. He's talking about his family, how thankful he is for them, how important competition with pro gaming and competitive sports have driven him in life, and then how he's able to balance all that with school and work. And I mean, he's looking like a superstar. But before I get you off of this, what about
Okay.
them Lakers, man? We finally got us a championship, man. We've been
Hold on.
waiting for.
Hold on now. Because I already knew this was going to happen, Coach CB. So I already got myself prepared over here. And you know, there's Laker Nation up in here. So I had to get my flag out. So I want to let everybody know
Hey.
2020 champions are the Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I don't want to hear no smack talk from nobody, because that's all we heard was from Clipper fans and everything else like that. But look who got the flag now. Look who's hanging up the banners. We got LeBron, we got AD, we got a squad. And guess what? We're going back to back. So everybody shout out to these Lakers right here, because that's what it's all about.
Yeah, man. It's huge. We finally got us a championship.
Yes.
We've been laughed at for years
Yes.
for supporting Jordan Clarkson and
Oh my goodness.
and who was yet I was rooting for Robert Sacre at some point. That
Oh
was
no.
the lowest point of my life.
That. Oh, I don't even want to think about that anymore. It doesn't matter. That stuff is unimportant now, because we have LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and we're about to go back to back. So shout out to them Los Angeles Lakers, baby. Woo! I'm hyped. That got me hyped, Coach CB.
I'm telling you, man, that's a great way to end off this, man. I learned so much. I learned so much from you. Seriously, man. You're very well spoken, and you just really. I hope that the listeners, they are inspired by his story, and that they really, as one of the major keys, is just that taking the time to reflect on your life, being thankful for what you have, doing that little exercise, that simple exercise of saying 3 things that you're thankful for. You do that every day, it's gonna help you feel a lot better in life. And since this is Coach CB and this is a sports oriented channel, when you're practicing your sports, when you're trying to get better, use that same strategy. Reflect on what you're doing and try to improve. And then you can be a player, a college tennis player like me, who never thought he would play college tennis in his whole life. Or you can have a tennis Instagram and continue to improve every day. How's that? I see you've been working on that serve, man. How's that process going before I let you go?
It's getting better and better. there's a lot of little intricacies with serving.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh, let me tell you.
it's tough, but I've gotten a lot of support. Like I said, on my tennis page, follow me again at Bilal Tennis. It has been a lot of support. I'm getting a lot of followers quick. I'm getting messages from coaches, people giving me advice. I'm also
Ooh.
big on Reddit, which is Reddit, the number 10 and then S. I've been posting on there a lot lately, and all my posts have been blowing up on there. So honestly, there's been a lot of momentum lately. And having all that support from people that don't know me and only know me based off my Instagram page has been wonderful. So the serving is going to get better. The forehand, the backhand is going to get better, and I'm going to continue to get better. So I'm excited for that.
I love it, man. Well, I wish you the best of luck on your journey.
Thank you.
You know, I'm supporting the page.
Thank you.
You know, hoping that you get as good. You know, maybe you'll get as good as me one day, so we can
Maybe.
play a one.
I can only hope. I can only hope, brother. I can only hope. All right, we'll see. If I'm half as good, I'm great. So I'll look forward to that.
Yeah, maybe we can get a match on the channel or something, or get a collab. But no,
Yeah.
seriously, man, it's very nice to meet you. I'm happy to get to meet some of the St. Louis tennis community as I start to try to get out there after I graduate. So yeah, man, it was great talking to you. You guys, make sure you like the video, check out his Instagram, and follow him, Bilal Tennis. It'll be in the description as well. And yeah, you guys be awesome. Enjoy life. Enjoy the process. I got to give him one more chance to give one final words of advice, and then we're going to let y'all go.
Keep being you. Keep being inspired. Live with faith. Live with God. Motivate yourself every day, and just keep doing your thing. And we'll see you on the courts.
All right. If y'all like this video, we got a bunch of other interviews with other players. We also got it on my other channel. We got interviews with dream chasers just like you all. So deuces.